G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. So the other day I had a little bit of feedback. It was mostly positive. It was something like this. Elliot, your show is the greatest podcast the internet has ever seen, but it is very, very heavy. And I would agree, this is very heavy, this podcast. The themes and issues that we explore, this is the fair income stuff. This is what life is all about. And the underbelly of life, if you like, as well, shining a light on that too. That's what the podcast is all about. But it's not all bad. There's been some funny episodes, I would say, more lighthearted, as a result of my diagnoses, my disorders that I have. So I'm going to tell a little story about that today. So just for a bit of context, this story took place, was it last year? Year before last? So anyway, I was 32. Okay, so remember that. A 32-year-old man went to zoo, right? And I went with my ex-girlfriend, which is so stupid because she was my ex at the time. I don't know what was going through my head. Maybe I had some sort of idea that, this would progress to us getting back together. But as you well know, that didn't happen because I am single, ready to mingle, pass the word on. Anyway, moving on. We're going to the zoo. So we're going to the zoo and it's about 45 minutes away, and I'm driving. I've got the tunes going. I'm getting really stimulated. I'm feeling good. Now the issue, not the issue, but what the big thing about zoos for me or animals is lions. I have this fixation on lions. I will watch lion roaring videos for hours on end. I do not care. My Instagram is full of it. Well, my save, that is how you save videos and stuff. It is chockers full of lions roaring. It's one of my autistic fixations, certainly. So we're going to the zoo and I'm all excited because I was going to see some lions, in real life, some big lions coming at me, roaring at me. I was so excited, and so excited I guess I didn't realise the potential issue of going with your ex-girlfriend to the zoo because she was my ex at the time. But that's okay. Nothing really happened there, so that's fine. But when we got to the zoo, it was all good. Little animals here, animals there, la, la, la. Very nice. I was like, come on, where is the main event? The main event, of course, being the pride of lions. So eventually, I think it was in the back left corner, the lions are there and they're sleeping and they're at the other end of the cage. You can barely see them. They're doing nothing. I was like, come on, seriously? This was meant to be a highlight of my life. This is ridiculous. Why are they just sleeping? So me, a 32-year-old autistic man, started, as I call it, spurging out. I started doing my little stimming. I started flapping hands. And I was like, come on, flapping, waving at them and stuff. They're ignoring me, of course. And then I started roaring at the lions like this, I can't believe I'm doing this on the show. Anyway, there's no secrets here. So I'm roaring at these lions like, come on, I'll talk in your language. Get up and do something for me, It was almost at the point where I was going to get a rock and just chuck it and be like, come on, get them real fired up. But that didn't happen. I didn't do that, which is good. I contained my spurging to just roaring. So I'm roaring at these lions, come on. And so I'm roaring at these lions and all of a sudden they're doing nothing. They're ignoring me, of course. Then I hear this, excuse me, sir. I was like, huh? What? Excuse me, sir. I have to ask you to stop roaring at the lions, please, or you'll have to leave. I was like, are you serious? This is just me and my autism. No, I didn't use the mental health card, but it was funny because, I was doing it. I was spurging out and it wasn't appreciated at the zoo. So me, a 32-year-old male, roaring at the lions, trying to get them going. And I got in trouble for doing so by the zookeeper and told if I continue to roar at their lions, I will have to leave. So I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a predator myself. This is how I'm taking it. I'm a bit of an animal and, I could be creating problems with the other animals because I'm such a unit, I don't know. Maybe that's why they kicked me out. Maybe they kicked me out because I was just being annoying and annoying everyone that's around me. So I don't know, spurging out though. It was I'd do it now. I'll tell you right now, if I went back to the zoo today and they were doing the same thing, I would do the same thing too. Come on. Seriously, give us a show. So I got told, do not roar at the lions or else you'll have to leave. So I was like, all right, fine. So I went to some camels and they were licking me and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's good. But I was looking over my shoulder at the lions down the back corner. I was like, man, that was the main event and it just didn't happen for me. It was so, so disappointing because lions certainly are one of my fixations, definitely. definitely. Like, I'll go to work in a minute and I'll be on my lunch break and all I'll be doing is watching lions roaring. I can't explain what it's all about. I don't know, but it feels good. Self-stimulation, I think they call it. See, I'm not a huge stimmer. I don't usually flap hands and, I'm not usually like running around in circles and stuff like some people with autism can do, especially younger people. I'm not a huge stimmer, but when I stim, it's always with animals and music. So I do lots of air guitar and air drumming. Everyone does a little bit of it, but I do a heap of it. I was at the traffic lights just before doing some AC/DC tunes on my air guitar. Brilliant. I've now discovered that doing that as repetitively as I do is stimulating. It's self-stimulating. It is stimming. So as always, nothing with me is just simple and like by the book. It's always got to be different. So even my stimming patterns are probably different from the norm, but at the same time, it's all the same result. It's all about self-stimulation, and for some reason, it's just, I don't know, rocking out with an air guitar, it bloody feels good. Roaring at lions, getting in trouble by the zookeeper, yeah, it feels good, I don't care, whatever. So the zoo was fun, but it was dangerous because I almost got booted for life. So anyway, that's my story of being almost accosted from the zoo because I was all excited, stimming. I was on the fence, rattling the fence, roaring, flapping my hands around, and that wasn't appreciated by the zookeeper. I've got a bit of history when it comes to lion. When I was a kid, like when I was in kindergarten, a couple of years ago, I got sent. So I was a good boy growing up for the most part. I didn't get in trouble and get put on conduct books and get suspended and all that sort of stuff. Generally speaking, there was one exception. Not suspended though. Anyway, another story for another time. But when I was in kindergarten, I got in trouble and got sent to the planning room because I was being a lion and I was biting everyone. So even from a super young age, something about lions, I don't know what it is, but they just, tigers I don't care about. I don't really care about tigers. It's lions. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And even back in kindergarten, I was showing signs that lions were going to be a big part of my life moving forward. And it's no surprise that at the moment I'm saving up money to go to Africa and see the lions up close and go to Tanzania, South Africa. That's the plan. But you need money. So if anyone wants to send me a couple of dollars, please join my Patreon. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. So that's the story of me spurging out at the zoo. If you're enjoying the show, feel free to like, subscribe, give the show a great rating, and you can share it around with your mates. And you can follow me on Instagram at elliot.t.waters. Until next time, see you later.